One of the first or second questions we're asked by clients usually is, when do I need to get registered for VAT? Isn't it really?
Yeah, so the rule with that is if your turnover for the previous 12 months is £85,000 or more, then you have to register for VAT. That's compulsory.
Yeah.
You can register voluntarily if your turnover is less than 85,000. And the reason why you do that is if you think eventually you are going to have to register. Because at the end of the day, VAT is a tax that's paid by the end user, isn't it? And so if you were to suddenly register VAT, you'd have to add 20% onto your sales, so that's an additional cost to the end user. So sometimes it's better to register before you hit the 20.
You remember at the same time, you can also claim back any VAT you pay at the same time, can't you, on that basis as well? So.
Absolutely, yeah. So when you do register for VAT, you can not only do you declare VAT on your sales, you can claim back VAT on your purchases and expenses.
And obviously then if you fall below the threshold again, which is 83,000 for deregistration, you can remove yourself from the VAT scheme, can't you? Completely from the VAT. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple of reasons why you might also do it. It's certain industries sometimes require it, don't they? It looks more attractive. So if I can give you an example of the motor industry, for a garage to do warranty work, it needs to be VAT registered. There's other elements where you may find it more attractive there's certain industries like the construction industry where that gets really quite, it's like different, isn't it? But there's the whole VAT on CIS scheme now as well, which we won't get into any real detail, but certainly it usually puts the construction industry into a refund situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I suppose VAT is normally declared on a quarterly basis, but can be declared on a monthly or an annual basis as well at the same time, can't it? So absolutely. That's what we would say really is that.
And then where we, as accountants, come in is we can help monitor that, whether you go over the threshold or not by looking at the previous 12 months on a rolling basis. So as soon as you go over the 85,000 limit, we can advise you to register, and obviously we can sort of help carry out the registration process with HMRC. So.
If you decide you're not going to register for that and HMRC realise that, and in fact they decide that you should have gone, I don't know, you might have missed the £85,000 threshold and you're now above that, and you don't tell them, repercussions are pretty hot on there at the same time.
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking penalties, interest whether it was deliberate or not deliberate. So
which comes back into the whole tax evasion, doesn't it? Again, at the same time, it's like, are you avoiding paying tax? Evading paying tax where you should be paying it? And if HMRC find out that, then you are going to get penalised. Simple as that, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Which again is where a software and an accountant can work quite well together. Then, and
I mean, VAT generally is quite a complicated tax. It's not a question of put 20% on or whatever.
Exactly.
There's a whole lot of rules and can of worms.
Well, there's rules and can of worms, isn't there? Because you've got the 20% rate and the 5% rate for VAT for different supplies, and then you've also then got the fact that certain bits you can't claim VAT back on, certain bits you don't charge VAT on. It's looking as a whole, isn't it? Really.
Absolutely.
And it's not as simple as saying, like you say, what 20% on here and that's it, fine. Because
and then the other thing is, coming back to sort of registration, so I know we've mentioned that £85,000 limit, but that applies to taxable supplies, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So if you do exempt supplies, so example of an exempt supply is selling abroad. So if you do all your sales abroad and they are more than 85,000, technically you don't need to register, do you?
So there are exempt supplies as well at the same time.
Right,
so there's exempt industries that don't have to pay that. Insurance, healthcare,
yeah.
training and education.
Yeah.
Those are just a few. I mean, there are other ones as well, but those are the few we can think of.
So basically that means that whatever turnover they make, it's not subject to VAT.
And I suppose then they would, if they don't have to register, they haven't got to worry about it. Simple as that.
That's right, yeah. But at the same time, they then can't claim back VAT on purchases and expenses.
Yes, they can't. So if they don't have to register, then they can't claim back any VAT on any expenses that they have.
That's right, yeah.
Simple as that. So the plus points are in some cases that you might find, certainly for the first couple of returns, you may be in a refund situation if you're buying more than you're selling.
Absolutely, yeah. So in a nutshell, if your turnover is more than £85,000 in the year, you have to register with VAT, but you can register voluntarily if it's less than that, if it's beneficial for you to do so.
The caveat is that VAT can be really quite complicated and not as easy as people think it will be. Certainly the best thing they can do is give Erdingsworth a call today and we can give them any support needed.
Absolutely.